I'm speaking with Jean-Marc Roy and Philippe Gagné, the writers, directors of Forêt Noire. I think I said it close,
Yeah.
Black Forest. So how do you guys say that?
Forêt Noire, yeah.
Okay. So I got to say, there's so much I like about this film. There's a lot of attention to detail, to atmosphere. And also, I really appreciate the fact that you assume the audience is going to be able to follow what's happening. You don't spend a lot of time trying to explain things. Now, I know you guys work together a lot, and you work separately some. And I see that you co-wrote this with Daisy Sadler, if I have that right.
Yeah.
So I'm curious just to know, what's the story's origin? Where does Daisy fit into all this? And can you just give us a little background on that?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird project for us because it was the first time that we didn't actually wrote the first draft. The movie or the project didn't originated from us, so it was sort of a command from France. We are in Quebec, and some people in France, they had this scenario written by Daisy Sadler, and they wanted us to direct it. But they wanted us to shoot it in Quebec. And the film is set in France, so we had to sort of adapt the thing to put on it sort of a Quebec vibe. So we had to do some rewrite, Jean-Marc and I, and
and pretend that we shot in France, but it was shot near where we're speaking right now in Saguenay in northern Quebec, and it was Canal Plus that we worked with them for our previous film, Crème de Menthe, and they asked us if, like Philippe just said, just to be part of this project and put it on screen.
So so you guys did a little bit of a rewrite? Was that with Daisy or just on your own? How did that work?
At first, the project was in sort of a residency in France, and it was a genre cinema short film, so a collection of a thriller short film. So she wrote the first draft, and then, as we said, we wanted to put a bit of ourselves in it, not just direct it, but put our color into it. And so we had to first. There was no Quebec whatsoever, no character from Quebec. So we had to change the main character to people from Quebec who lived in France. And so we a bit of a struggle with the story. So we did like 4 or 5 drafts where everybody was happy. And there was this layer of the difference between the French people and the people from Quebec. And maybe for you guys who speak English, it's not, you cannot hear it, but there is a big difference in the accent between the people from Quebec and people from France. So there was a bit of a play on the dialogues and the misinterpretation of things because of the difference in the accent. So that's the thing that we add to the film, into the writing, and then we just try as much as we could to make believe that it was set in France when it was shot in Canada.
And the difference between just so you know, the difference between the Quebec French and the France French, it's like if you're doing with American English and like a Scottish slang on the other side, so there's some difference.
Right. And I can kind of guess, but I'll just ask, which characters are from Quebec?
The family is from Quebec. Right. The mother and the 2 daughters are from Quebec, and the rest are, they were Quebec actors, but they were able to emulate the French accent. And the other thing that we wanted to play with is the difference between the 2 judicial systems in France and in Quebec, because what they do in the movie, the reconstitution of the crime scene, mandated by the court, this is not something that happens here in Quebec. It's not the way it works. So that explains a bit why the family is unease with the whole process, and they don't really get what's happening, what why they have to recreate the scene and be in the crime scene and stuff. So there's also the difference that on top of the language thing.
Right. But I liked what you're saying. It is a nice layer the difference in dialect, understanding exactly what each other's saying, and the difference in understanding that the mother and two daughters have compared to everyone else there. I really like the portrayal of the inspector. I'm going to not try to say the last name of the inspector, but it was played by Nadia Esadiki.
Yep.
That's how you say her name, right?
Yes.
So first of all, could maybe explain to our US audience how she's better known in Canada?
She's known here as a singer mostly. Her stage name is La Bronze. She has a career. She's Middle Eastern, and she did some cover for a song by Stromae, which was a big success that she translated in Arabic. And she's kind of well known in the music scene in Montreal and in Quebec.
Right. And I know she's done some acting in some, at least one big film that I'd seen before. I really liked what she brought to the character. And there's kind of I feel like there's an unspoken connection between her and the three women. Now, is her role, would she have been kind of the equivalent of the chief investigator, is what I'm thinking in the US would be what they would call it?
Yeah, I think she's, well, the character is was in charge of the crime that happened, yeah. And that was a bit of a thing for us because it was written by a woman, by Daisy, and it speaks of maternity and womanhood and all those things. So it was a bit of a, being two guys directed it. So we wanted to keep this sensitivity, this woman sensitivity layer that's just throughout the movies there. It's about having a baby, protecting your children, and just this bound between women that they don't have to say anything and they understand each other, and this kind of this protection, they want to protect each other. So it was there, and I think it's a crime movie, but at the center, the core of the film is more of this connection between motherhood, women who has children. So yeah, I think that's really the centerpiece, the glue that keeps the film together.
Absolutely. And it's what's so great about what you captured is so much of that is unspoken, and you just see it in their eyes and in the glances at times, that you can also sense the male characters not necessarily being aware of. And there's a lot of themes that kind of have a subtext there, like you were saying, that bond. I get the impression there's also subtext of maybe domestic abuse, even a subtext of the kind of unspoken understanding between survivors. I felt could even be there. Do you have any feelings on that?
No, I think that you just said it. There's the judge that just don't see the connection between the women as they see, like comment je peux dire ça? Sorry.
I think it's the level of understanding, and all the male, they're only on the judicial side of the story, and they don't have any access to what's happening between those women. So it's the difficulties in communication are at every level. It's the crime, is the justice, and it's also the motherhood and the womanhood. So it's all
the job they have to do also. They have to do a job and to find out if the third girl is guilty or not.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it was so interesting. I mean, it's so clear, at least to me, it felt very clear as they're trying to recreate the scene where the mother apparently stabbed him with a plastic fork. And as they're trying to get her in the right angle, I'm just watching this thinking, there's no way. And of course, as her and the one daughter are trying to drag the body to the river, again, it's like, there's just no way. You can tell something more happened here. And yet, I'm not even sure how to say it. It was just fascinating to me, the way the male characters seemed to be more about, okay, let's just do this and wrap it up and take the photos and are we good here now?
Yeah.
No, but yeah, but it's true. It's just they're so disconnected that and the public has the keys to access that, and that's what we wanted to put onto the screen. It's this barrier of this rupture between those two universe, and it, for us, when we got the script, the main goal that we had was like the tension, and on the directing, defeat challenge that we had was like to keep this tension, and the tension it's not to get this, we didn't want to get the truth that obvious in the end. It's just
Right.
not this what happened. We wanted to because it's so fuzzy and so flu. It's out of focus. We wanted to just to leave the audience with the feeling of unspoken things.
Right. Yeah. Well, the atmosphere that you guys accomplished was amazing, and yeah, that tension is throughout. And I'm talking to you guys with the advantage of having watched it a couple of times now and having had some time to digest it. I'm curious if you can speak to the scene towards the end where the inspector's milk starts to come out again. I had some thoughts about that, but I wonder what from the script or from your point of view, what was that anything more than the fact that she's a mother, or was there something that kind of made that happen more, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think that's the fact that she can really relate to this mother that just want to protect her child, since she just, as we understand, just had a baby recently. So that's just I don't know. I think she puts herself in the place of the mother that was just like protecting his little baby. Yeah.
And on the other side is the same thing, because when the mother was accused, when she sees that's her access to this policeman, it's the place where they connect, and just by looking at each other, they understand.
You're a mother too.
Yeah, and that's it. You will someday have to maybe do something for your daughter as well. So you have to understand that, yeah, this happens. We have to protect our children.
So the scenery was fantastic. Where did you? And it was one of those. I kept trying to figure out if it was filmed in France or filmed in Canada, because there was very little in the scenery that gave it away. It seemed like it could have been either. Was that a difficult location to find? Was that a location you already knew?
Yeah, we already knew this place. It's like patrimonial. I don't know the word, but it's like an old mill that used to be a mill here, and it's like 200 something years old, and it looks like really like we're in the back country of France, but it was like it's 20 minutes from where I'm talking to you right now. So
and it might be the only place around here that may remotely look like it could be France. So we were very lucky to have access to this place, and the owners were so open because they love short movies. We have a festival here in Saguenay, which is a Regard short film festival, and they go and they watch short films. They have been doing that for like the past 20 years. So they loved the fact that a short film was shooting in their house, and it's a beautiful place. There's this big river that was nearby, and the sound
everything
of the
everything that was in the script was in that location, the river, the rocks, the old house, the everything. And unfortunately the owner of the place just passed away like a month before we could show him the movie at the festival. So
was anybody else who had been in the house able to see it?
The wife of Bernard, Marie, she came to speak with us when we premiered the film at Regard, and she was very emotional about it, and we were too, because that's the moment that she told us that Bernard has passed away the month before. So it was a really bittersweet moment for her, because she loved the movie, but yeah, she told us that he wanted so bad to be able to see the movie, and she could have maybe just write to us and we would have screened it for him. And it's a bit bittersweet.
That's rough.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you are asked this often, but I think this is the kind of question that I know the audiences are always curious about. So how do you guys have worked together a lot? How do you kind of divide your duties? How I think most people would think of it that one does this and the other does that, which I suspect is not quite the case. How do you guys typically work together? I've watched some of your other short films, and there is there definitely is a style that you have that after seeing this, watching those, it's like, yeah, I can see there is this kind of a feel, even though the films are very different.
But like you said, we've been working a lot, like since the past like 12 years approximately. So we know each other a lot. It depends if we're in pre-production or in production, or but sometimes it's just we go to the feeling, to like this scene. Oh, I think I know how to do it, and we get this relationship and this confidence on each other, so
yeah. And it's not that we actually we keep it pretty cool on the set. We always try for everyone to have we want to have a cool set, a good vibe, a good positive experience for everybody. We sometimes we don't argue, but we're not shy of just wondering what to do, because when you're by yourself, when you're a sole director, you just things and you say something and that's the truth and that's what's going to happen. But to each other in front of the crew, and that's sometimes we just ask ourselves, okay, what should we do? I don't know. And we kind of, the people have access to our process,
and also we edit our own movies, so we know the shots that we have and we know what we will need later on. So sometimes you say, okay, are you sure we're okay with that shot? Okay, we can see the editing in our head. So we talk about that, and like Philippe David said, also we produce our own films. So sometimes I'm more with on the production side, because we have, I don't know, a problem or something, and sometimes it's the other way around. So.
And with this movie in particular, it was another challenge, because it was the first time that we had this huge scene that's the centerpiece of the film, with like 15
pages
actors in it, and we had to, it's a 12-minute scene, and we had to make sure that everything was covered. So it was really sort of we had to make sure everything was covered, that the coverage was good, that the editing was going to work, and we were stopping. Okay, so did we cover this angle? Are we good? Should we go ahead and skip like 4 minutes and get a reaction shot from this angle and stuff? So and we were pretty sure that it was going to be a nightmare in editing, and it was not. It was weirdly, it came together.
Ballet.
Yeah, it came together really easily in editing, and we were a bit suspicious of it. Like, it was suspiciously easy to edit the scene. It was like, okay, well, it works. Should we try something else? Should we try another version of it? And yeah, well, it works. So when it works, you just stop touching it, because you're going to break something.
And it was a lot of premieres for us, because it was like you just said, the premiere with that big of a scene. It was also the first time that we had to co-produce with another country, because it was a co-production with France, and it was the first time that we got a script that was not our original idea. So it was a lot of first time, and we just how you say, tricot.
Knitting.
Yeah, knitting all
knit
those things around. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I also think that made it work so well was on top of the, there's just the tension and even kind of the strangeness of the situation. It is a strange situation.
Yeah.
And the obvious kind of the bond between the women is there was a nice underlying sense of humor that
Yeah.
rose to the surface when you needed it to.
Yeah.
Kind of at the absurdity of the situation for the women a little bit. But it made me think during some of these scenes, that long scene for sure, but also the scene where they're trying to drag the
Body, yeah.
the body. There must have been some interesting behind the scenes things that happened on this. Were there any? Are there any fun stories that we don't see on camera?
Well, the mannequin was pretty heavy. We wanted it to be heavy because we wanted them to really struggle, but they were completely struggling, and it was cold, and it was like the
180 pounds. So.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want them to put too much fatigue on them, but they were really struggling the whole way out onto just to the river, and we were also missing time, so we shot the finale in a speed that we never seen before. It was because the sun was going down, we were missing light, so we milked the last ounce of light that we got on the last scene where there by the river.
Yeah,
right.
And also I said before that we're living like 2 hours north of Quebec City, so we're in May, we still have snow in here. So, but in France, there's not a lot of snow in the year around. So we had to deal with the with the snow and to shove some, and just to be like all the exterior scene. Sometimes there's more snow, there's less snow because we shot the film on 4 days. So
and it was melting because we did a lot of shoveling to prepare the set, but as we were, like Jean-Marc is saying, it was melting, so everything was changing so quickly because it was in May, so really the end of spring, beginning of the summer. So yeah, we had a lot of anxiety because of the snow before the filming and during the filming, but in the end it doesn't really show, so we're happy about that it didn't screw up the film.
And you said there's some sense of humor within the film, and if you understand French, I think there's a lot more, because when the French actors are trying to say the French Canadian words, it's just when you're in a crowd where people understand French, they a lot of laughing.
Yeah, there's always nice nuances like that are make it extra special for more the native speakers.
Yeah.
Which is that I think that's how it is in with most films. So
yeah,
guys, I really loved your film, and I really appreciate you spending some time with me talking about it. Sorry that we can't have you out. Hopefully in the future we can have you out.
Yeah, that would be really nice.